Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Trail Pass. So this is our brand new Subaru Outback Wilderness, and we decided to buy this as our new family car. It's actually my wife's daily driver and our new family car. So we went through a lot of the reasons of why we purchased it in the last video. If you didn't see that already, please check that out after you get done with this one. But I want to go through some of the things that we've learned. So we've now had this vehicle for just about 1 month, and we've driven it for just over 1,200 miles. So we are still learning all the quirks and the ins and outs of the Subaru Outback, but a few things really jumped out at us right off the bat, and some things that I thought would be very interesting to you all to share with whether you're looking into a new Outback, whether you're a new Outback owner, or whether it's specific to the wilderness itself. I think you might find this video helpful. So right up front here, these LED headlights are fantastic at night. They are an active headlight, meaning they do turn in the housing itself to help kind of see around turns and that sort of thing. You can turn all that off in the screen if you don't like the headlights moving back and forth as you drive, but we drive a lot of kind of back mountain roads and that sort of thing. We're always watching out for deer. Those headlights are really, really good. Now, also moving around here, looking at the mirrors, you can see it has a little Subaru logo right there. Whenever you open a door, that Subaru logo lights up. Now, it might not look very impressive here while it's in a really well-lit garage, but at night, those lights actually shine back the doors and make it really, really useful. Like I said, this is our family car. A lot of times it's toting around my wife, myself, and our son. And having that little bit of extra light on the outside as you're walking up to your car really is nice. It's certainly been a really useful thing, and we really do enjoy it. Now, coming around here to the back, this Outback Wilderness does have a power lift gate. Go ahead and pop that up. So with the lift gate up here, obviously you have all kinds of space here in the back of these new Outbacks, which is super nice. But looking up here at the buttons, obviously you have your button put up and down the power lift gate. You also have a handle here if you prefer, but you also have this lock button. And what that does is whenever you hit it and the door comes back down, when it comes down, it actually locks, which is super, super cool. So you could just hit that, walk away from your car, and whenever it closes, it will lock by itself. You don't have to sit there and walk up and lock the car independently, which is a really cool feature. Now, with the liftgate back down here, you're probably used to reaching under here for the button there to release it, but actually there's a small other button right here, and that actually does the same thing. So right now the car is unlocked. We just put it down, but we can go ahead and hit that button right there, and that also locks your car. So you can lock your car two different ways here from the back of the Outback, which is a really useful thing. Now, walking up to the fuel door here, when it's locked, it does not open, which is pretty cool. But when you unlock the car, come back here, the fuel door opens right up. So you just push it to open it, opens right up. Now, one other thing about the fuel here is amazingly, even with this FA24F engine, which is the 2.4 liter boxer turbocharged engine that Subaru uses on the Wilderness and any of the XT trim Outbacks, it does make a lot of power, and it's very, very drivable on the road, but it still uses regular fuel. You don't even have to use premium fuel, just regular old 87 will work just fine, which is great. Keeps the cost of ownership down and still provides really great quality driving experience and a lot of power. Now, I already mentioned it a little bit, but a lot of the controls and a lot of the vehicle settings are all controlled through this 11.5-inch screen here that is on a lot of these higher end Subaru products now. So it definitely takes a little bit of getting used to. It does not have a whole lot of hard buttons. Really, the only hard buttons that you have are with your front camera right down here. It does have a hard button to raise and lower your interior temperature, and does have a volume and a tune knob, and your safety hazard buttons as well. But aside from that, really everything does go through the screen. A lot of your climate controls, your radio, your navigation, you know, it definitely goes through the screen, which does take a little bit of getting used to. It's not like a traditional vehicle, and sometimes you do have several screens that you have to go through to get exactly what you need. So for instance, if you go into settings, give it a second to come up here, you obviously have your clock, display, Wi-Fi, whatever, going down the list. And it looks like when you get to the bottom here, that's the end of your settings. But you actually look back up to the top, and then you have your sound settings, your navigation settings, go over here, your phone settings. It just goes on and on and on. And it does take a little bit of time to really get used to this screen. And that's really the biggest thing that we can talk about today is, you know, you really have to spend some time. It's like getting a brand new phone, really, with as complicated as this thing is. It is easy to use once you know where to go and where to look for what you need, but it does take a little bit of time to get used to. And it is impressive how many things that you can change with this. So you go into general, and up to the top here once more, and obviously you have your clock and display, those kind of settings that you're used to. But Wi-Fi, I was actually reading about this just the other day. We can connect to different Wi-Fi's like the one in my house here, and then as the screen comes up with new updates, you can actually search for new updates right from the screen and download it through your Wi-Fi, which is really, really neat. And actually there's a new one about to come out. My wife and I are both Android users, and it looks like this new update that's about to come out will actually allow for full screen Android Auto. Currently it only takes up half the screen now. So really interested to see that when it comes out, and we'll definitely make a video on that once it comes out as well. But it is amazing how many different things that you can do just within the screen. Now, going over here to the car settings, you can see all of your different safety gear. So you have your eyesight monitor, reverse automatic braking, that sort of thing. All of this is basically, you can set it up exactly the way you want it. So you go into your eyesight settings, you can turn your pre-collision braking off, but still leave, for instance, your lane departure warning on. You can set this up exactly how you need to. And that's actually another thing. When you're driving this from the way it comes from the factory, it is very beepy, for lack of better words. It definitely tells you every time it sees a vehicle in front of you, every time it does not see a vehicle in front of you, every time you cross a line, every time you're back in the line. It definitely is very alertive to everything that it sees what's going on, and you can customize that all right here. Now, a lot of those warnings are really nice. Obviously, if you're going outside your lane, you might want to know that it is a good feature, but we actually took off the sound for that lead vehicle acquisition, because again, every time we would come up behind a car, say on the interstate, it would beep. Every time we would drop back and it couldn't recognize that car anymore, it would beep again. So that got a little bit annoying, but it is all customizable right here, which is a really nice option. Now, one other thing to keep in mind is this vehicle does have wired Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. It's not wireless here for this 2022 model, but we had one heck of a time trying to set this up. Your USB connections for the front are right down here, right above this wireless charging pad if you have it. But we plugged it all in, we hit the Android Auto button, and it said that basically you had to allow the phone to access the car, allow the car to access the phone, you know, all your typical stuff, but we could not make that work for whatever reason. And the missing link there is your parking brake. To set all that up, your parking brake has to be engaged. We actually even had the car completely off like we do now with the accessories running, and it still would not connect. You have to have that parking brake set, and once you do, very, very simple like any other vehicle, but that is one missing link there. If you're a new Outback owner or you're stuck on that particular part, that might save you a little bit of time. So overall, we've been truly loving the experience with the Subaru Outback Wilderness so far. Again, these were just a couple things that we noticed in our first month of ownership, and I'm sure we'll learn all sorts of other things as we continue to drive it and own it for a longer period of time. And we'll definitely cover all of that on the channel as we go. But so far, so good. Again, we're really enjoying it. It's been a great fit for our family. We have all of our gear cleared out of it today, but it's more than enough space for all of our baby gear and any kind of weekend adventures that we're looking to get into. It's been a great vehicle for all of that. So could not recommend this vehicle more. Again, time will tell about reliability and about the fuel economy as it continues to break in. But again, so far, so good. The build quality seems really good, and it's just a super comfortable and quiet place to cruise down the road while still providing a lot of capability for places that we might want to go, say on the weekend or just for fun. So kind of the best of both worlds here with the Subaru Outback Wilderness especially. And we're very happy with our purchase decision so far. So if you have any questions, leave those down in the comments section. And if you're a Subaru Outback owner yourself and you learned something from this video or something that you'd like to add to the video for future, definitely leave that all down in the comment section as well. So thank you all very much for watching. Have a fantastic week, everybody. Catch you next time.